morning, Morgan Park Academy. Please turn off and put away all cell phones, take your coats off, and be respectful audience members during the assembly. Thank you. Welcome to the 2026 celebration of Women's History Month. This year, the theme for Women's History Month is Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future. To begin our assembly, we welcome a 6th grade group who will perform Women Are History Makers.
Groundbreakers, time to recognize.
sixth graders. Thank you for your performance. Now, we welcome students to the stage to read about the women who inspire them to make the world a better place for future generations.
Michelle Obama was born January 17, 1964. Michelle is an American attorney and author who served as First Lady of the United States from 2009 to 2007 as the wife of President Barack Obama. She was born in Chicago and raised on the city's south side. She graduated from Princeton College and Harvard Law School. Michelle got married to President Obama in 1992 and had 2 daughters. She campaigned for her husband in 2008 and 2012 for the presidential campaign. She was the first African American to serve as First Lady. Michelle wrote 4 successful books. One of her books, Becoming, won an award for its audio version and was translated into 50 languages. Michelle says, "For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion. A means of evolving a way to reach consistency toward better self. The journey this way." Malala Yousafzai is a Pakistani activist known around the world for standing up for girls' rights to receive an education. Growing up in Pakistan's Swat Valley, Malala saw how the Taliban tried to ban girls from attending school. Even as a young girl, she bravely spoke out about the importance of education through interviews and writing. In 2012, at just 15 years old, she was attacked for using her voice, but she survived and continued her mission even stronger than before. In 2014, she became the youngest person ever to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Through the Malala Fund, she continues to fight for equal education opportunities for girls everywhere. Malala's story proves that courage, resilience, and determination can create change across the world, no matter your age.
Shirley Chisholm was an American politician who in 1968 became the first black woman to be elected to the United States Congress. Shirley Chisholm was born on November 30th, 1924 in Brooklyn, New York. She earned a master's degree in childhood education at Columbia University in 1951. In 1960, she was an advisor to the New York City Division of Daycare. Ever so alert about racial and gender injustice, she joined the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. In 1964, Shirley ran for and enhanced her role as part of the New York State Legislature. In 1968, Shirley Chisholm was elected to join the U.S. Congress and officially joined in 1969, becoming the first black woman to be elected to Congress. She also ran for president in 1972, becoming the first black woman candidate. Chisholm spent her life fighting for equality and equity and worked hard for her constituents, representing them until 1983. Then she became a professor at Mount Holyoke College and continued her activism through political organizing. In 2015, she was posthumously awarded the Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama.
Kamala Devi Harris was born in Oakland, California on October 20th, 1964. She first found her love of politics and standing up for what was right when she went to college in 1980 at Howard University. She became involved in California politics, serving as a district attorney for San Francisco, and later as the Attorney General of California from 2010 to 2014. Next, she ran and won the position of Senator of California, becoming only the second black woman to serve as senator and the first person to serve as senator who is South Asian descent.
She was chosen as the running mate for President Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election, becoming the first woman to serve as Vice President of the United States. And although she lost the election for president in 2024, she still works tirelessly on behalf of the American people. Today, she continues to inspire young women and girls everywhere, showing them they can do anything.
Josephine Baker, born in 1906 in St. Louis. Many know Josephine Baker as the beautiful singer, dancer, performer from the 1930s and 40s. However, Baker has a much more interesting past. Josephine Baker aided the French resistance during World War II during her part to fight rising fascism in Nazi Germany. She also worked with the British Secret Intelligence Service and the United States Office of Strategic Services, known today as the CIA. This part of her life was closely guarded, secret, and much was not known until 2020, when French documents were declassified. After the war, she was awarded the Resistance Medal by French Committee of National Liberation, the Cross of War by the French military, and was named a member of the Legion of Honor by General Charles de Gaulle. Baker saying, "I have two loves, my country and Paris." Baker refused to perform for segregated audience in the United States and is also noted for her contributions to the civil rights movement. In 1968, she offered unofficial leadership in the movement following the assassination of Martin Luther King, but declined due to concerns for the welfare of her children. On November 30th, 2021, Baker was inducted into the Pantheon in Paris as first Black woman to receive one of the highest honors in France. As her resting place remains in Monaco Cemetery, a cenotaph was installed in Vault 13 of the crypt in Pantheon.
Greta Thunberg is a Swedish activist best known for pressuring governments to address climate change and social issues. She gained global attention in 2018 at age 15 after starting a solo school strike outside the Swedish parliament, which inspired the worldwide Fridays for Future movement. Following the growth of the school strike movement, Thunberg became an internationally known figure through speeches, protests, and participation in climate demonstrations in Europe and elsewhere. She has addressed political leaders and taken part in major climate-related events, and her activism has been widely covered by international media, drawing both support and criticism. She has also broadened her focus to include human rights and global justice, voicing support for Ukraine, Palestine, and Armenia. In 2025, Thunberg twice joined a humanitarian flotilla bound for the Gaza Strip, which drew international attention and political controversy. Thunberg has been credited with sparking the Greta effect, influencing environmental awareness and youth engagement worldwide. Supporters credit her with increasing public attention to climate issues and youth activism. While critics have questioned her rhetoric methods and role in political debate, Thunberg has consistently stated that her actions are guided by published climate research and policy targets. She has received numerous honors, including inclusion in Time's 100 Most Influential People and being named Person of the Year in 2019.
Thank you for these stories of courageous and talented women. Now, let's welcome to the stage Harlem Holland, Dania Wilson, and Morgan Hayes performing a dance to Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl.
This dance and song are dedicated to Lema Boy, who led the Women of Liberia Mass Action for Peace campaign that brought together Christian and Muslim women in a non-violent movement that played a pivotal role in ending Liberia's civil war.
Lema Boy was later awarded in the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011.
No tengo pie, pens in my head.
Thank you for that wonderful performance. Let's give it up for them one more time. Now, for the rest of this, we'll hear about some more women who influence and inspire us every day.
August 8, 1996. Wilson is considered one of the best WNBA players of all time. She was drafted in the 2018 WNBA draft and was selected as the first pick overall pick by the Las Vegas Aces. She won her first WNBA MVP in 2020 with the Aces and won again in 2022, 2024, and 2025. In 2022, Wilson led the Aces to their first title in the franchise history, which she did again in 2023, and earned the Finals MVP. On July 7, 2024, against the Dallas Wings, she became the Aces' all-time leading scorer. In 2025, Asia led the Aces to a third championship title, becoming the first WNBA or NBA player to win a scoring title, be a champion, Finals MVP, and Defense Player of the Year in the same season. Asia wrote the book Dear Black Girls, which is about her experience as a black girl and woman in America. Asia writes, "Don't ever lose sight of who you really are, or where you come from, or the people who truly love you. You would be surprised at how fast the winds of life can change." A professional basketball player who has become a symbol of confidence, strength, and empowerment for young women and sports. She rose to national fame while playing college basketball at LSU, where she helped lead her team to win the 2023 NCAA National Championship. Known for her skill, competitive spirit, and confidence on the court, she proudly embraced the nickname Bayou Barbie. Beyond her athletic success, Reese has spoken openly about the fairness and double standards that female athletes, especially women of color, face in sports. She encourages young girls to be bold, believe in themselves, and never shrink their personalities to make others comfortable.
Now playing in the WNBA, she continues to inspire the next generation by showing that women can be powerful, outspoken leaders, both on and off the court.
Diane Durham was born on July 17, 1968 in Gary, Indiana. Her parents signed her up for gymnastics around the age of 4 in 1971, and she fell in love with it. She trained at the gym local YMCA in Gary, Indiana. She grew into a dominating athlete, going on to earn countless titles and awards. Miss Diane was the first black gymnast to capture a U.S. Senior All-Around National Championship, and a dominating performance that also won her individual gold medals on vault, balance beam, and floor exercise. When she was 26, she married Mr. Tom Drahazel, or you may know him as MPA's upper school basketball coach and principal. Diane Durham tried out for the Summer Olympics in 1984. Unfortunately, she broke her ankle at tryouts and couldn't go to the Olympics. She remained involved in her gymnastics career as a performer, coach, and judge for gymnastics for nearly 2 decades. Unfortunately, Miss Diane passed away at the age of February 4th, 2021 from a brief illness at the age of 52. To this day, we remember her as the first black gymnast to capture a U.S. Senior All-Around National Championship for breaking barriers and acting as an inspiration for us all.
Simone Biles is an American artistic gymnast born on March 14, 1997, and is widely considered the greatest of all time in gymnastics, holding the record as the most decorated gymnast in history with 37 Olympic and World Championship medals combined as of 2024. Simone is known for her incredible skills and mental health advocacy, and she has also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom and has been open about having ADHD. Simone Biles was raised by her grandparents after being adopted. Simone Biles has several skills named after her, and her favorite event is the floor event exercise, which allows her to express her personality. Simone started gymnastics at 6 years old and is now #1 gymnast in the world.
Jordan Childs, born on April 15, 2001, and grew up in Vancouver, Washington. She began gymnastics training at 6. She is now recognized for her amazing floor performances. She became more widely known when she started training along Simone Biles in 2019. In 2017 through 2018, she was nearly going to quit gymnastics, but training with Simone Biles brought back her career. She has been a member of the United States Women's National Gymnastics team since 2013. Childs was a member of the gold medal winning team at the 2024 Summer Olympics, having previously been a member of the silver medal winning team at the 2020 Summer Olympics. She was also a member of the team that won gold at the 2022 World Championships. Individually, she was the 2022 World Vault and Floor Exercise silver medalist. In NCAA gymnastics, Childs competes for UCLA Bruins gymnastics team, where she won 2 Pac-12s, 2 Big Ten titles, and 3 NCAA championship titles. She is one of only 4 female gymnasts to win NCAA World and Olympic championship titles.
The women's tournament in ice hockey at the 2026 Winter Olympics took place in Milan, Italy in February 2026. During pool play, this team allowed only 1 goal, dominating the teams in their matchups, even against Canada, who they defeated 5-0 in pool play. The U.S. and Canada teams met again for the gold medal match. Canada were the defending champions, having won their 5th Olympic title in 2022. However, in an exciting and dramatic match, the United States women's team won the gold medal by defeating Canada 2-1 in OT in the gold medal game. Evergreen Park native Abby Murphy helped bring home the gold medal.
As a member of the team, Murphy helped secure the gold medal for the United States women's hockey team at the 2026 Winter Olympics.
Ilona Mara was born on August 12, 1996. She is a social media personality, reality television star, and a part-time professional rugby player. As of January 2026, she is currently not playing rugby and has not announced any plans to return to the game, but has remained active as an online personality. In December 2024, she signed with the Bristol Bears in England in the Premiership Women's Rugby League and began playing for them in January 2025. Mara took up rugby at the age of 17 and went on to win 3 National Intergalactic Rugby Association championships as a college student at Quinnipiac University. After debuting in 2018, she represented the United States national team at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. She won bronze with the United States in rugby sevens at the 2024 Paris Olympics. The first women's rugby team to medal for the United States, Mara is also known for her body positivity and advocacy for women and works tirelessly to promote women's athletics.
Thank you for these stories of courageous and talented women. Now, let's welcome to the stage Addison Mosley, Dania Wilson, Morgan Hayes, and Allie Perro, performing to a song from Dream Girls.
Come on, baby.
for that wonderful performance. Now, we'll hear more about the women who influence and inspire us every day.
Mae Jemison once said, "Don't let anyone rob you of your imagination, your creativity, or your curiosity. It's your place in the world, it's your life. Go on and do all that you can with it, and make it the life you want to live." Mae was born on October 17, 1956 in Decatur, Alabama, but grew up in Chicago, Illinois. As a child, she became fascinated in science and was inspired by Sally Ride, the first woman astronaut who motivated her to become an astronaut. After college, Mae applied to NASA's astronaut program, but the program was paused because of the Space Shuttle Challenger, which exploded that same year. After a year of waiting, she applied again and finally got in. Her lifelong dream was to shoot for the stars, and on September 12, 1992, she became the first African-American woman to go into space and fulfill her dreams.
Was an Austrian and American actress and inventor. Traveling to London, she met Louis B. Mayer, who offered her a film contract in Hollywood. Lamar became a film star in Hollywood. She also acted on television before the release of her final film in 1958. She was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1960. However, we now know that Lamar had an interesting other life. At the beginning of World War II, along with composer George Lamar, co-invented a radio guidance system for Allied torpedoes that used spread spectrum and frequency hopping technology to defeat the threat of radio jamming by Axis power. This approach, conceptualized as a secret communication system, was intended to provide secure, jam-resistant, and communication for weapons guidance by spreading the signal across multiple frequencies. Frequency hopping is a foundational technology for spread spectrum communications. Its principles are utilized for secure wireless networking, including Bluetooth and early versions of Wi-Fi, which use variants of spread spectrum to protect data from interception and interference. Lamar's work was instrumental in furthering this technology while she helped Allied forces defeat Germany.
Marie Tharp was born on July 30th, 1920 in Ypsilanti, Michigan, the only child of a German and Latin teacher and a soil surveyor for the United States Department of Agriculture. She often accompanied her father on his fieldwork, which gave her an early introduction to map making. Despite this, she had no interest in pursuing a career in fieldwork, as during that time, this was understood to be men's work. This changed when she attended a class called Current Science, where she learned about contemporary scientists and their research projects. Then she undertook school field trips on weekends to study trees and rocks. During World War II, more women were recruited into professions like petroleum geology, normally restricted to men. Having taken a geology class at Ohio, Tharp attended the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor's Petroleum Geology program, where she completed a master's degree in 1944. After graduating, Tharp began work as a junior geologist at a company in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but discovered that the company did not permit women to do nor attend fieldwork. The company only permitted Tharp to coordinate maps and data for male colleagues' trips. In the 1950s, she collaborated with another geologist to produce the first scientific map of the Atlantic Ocean floor. Her cartography revealed a more detailed topography and multidimensional geographical landscape of the ocean bottom. For the first 18 years of their collaboration, Tharp drew maps from that data, since women were barred from working on ships at the time. She was later able to join a 1968 data collection expedition on the USNS Kane. She independently used data collected and seismographic data from undersea earthquakes. Her work represented the first systematic attempt to map the entire ocean floor. Tharp's discovery of the mid-Atlantic ridge caused a paradigm shift in Earth science that led to the acceptance of the theories of plate tectonics and continental drift.
Rosa Watts was born on January 19, 1932 in Columbia, Mississippi. She died on October 8, 2019. At age 19, she moved to Chicago, Illinois in 1951. She was an administrative assistant, but she also wrote poetry. She wrote a poem titled 100 Years for her granddaughter, Tabitha Watts, to recite. Tabitha was asked by the Illinois Governor, James Robert Thompson, to recite her grandmother's poem in front of the Illinois Senate, but Tabitha refused because she was scared. But today, I will be reciting the poem because Rosa Watts is my great-grandmother. 100 years of sweat and toil, our forefathers plowed the soil. They worked for you, and they worked for me. They died to set man free. We'll keep on toiling, Father of old, seeking rescue for our souls. Where's that freedom that makes men shout? Where's that freedom we talk about? We work and work with all our might, but there's no freedom in sight. How many more years do we have to wait till we walk through freedom's gate? Harriet Tubman did her part. The Underground Railroad was the start. Rosa Parks, you wouldn't give up your seat. No, you had to protect your feet. Jesse Jackson, great man were you. You preached until your face turned blue. Martin Luther King, you gave your life. Yes, to help us in our strife. 100 years, or maybe more, but we'll still be knocking at freedom's door.
Thank you for these stories of courageous and talented women. Now, let's welcome to the stage Miss Dorsey's 8th grade drama class.
Guys, I got a question. Why do we only celebrate Women in March? This history class. It's like Women's History is a special feature. Like with Red, we want people. 1 month for half the world.
Welcome to Women's History Month, where every teacher suddenly remembers to read Greek, someone can slide with butterflies, and the picture goes out.
No boring speeches, no dusty portraits, no girl boss posters.
Say less. Malala Yousafzai.
They tried to silence me. I answered with education. Girls deserve classrooms, not fear.
Rosa Parks.
She stayed seated so the world could stand up. One choice, big.
Wangari Maathai Kenya.
I planted trees, then planted courage. Save land, raise voices, change nations.
Frida Kahlo.
I painted pain, I painted truth, I painted myself when the world wouldn't.
Shirley Chisholm.
First black woman in Congress, first black woman to run for president, unbossed, unbought, unafraid.
Marie Curie. Segregation, civil rights, genetic rights. Queen Zinga Abangala.
Faith empires, led armies, refused to.
Sojourner Truth.
You see that man in the back right there? Yeah. When he says that women should be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages, over mud puddles, or gives me the best place. And ain't I one? Look at me. Look at my arm. I've plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man can pay me. And ain't I one? I can work and eat as much as me. And I can get it. And bear the lashes dust. And ain't I one?
Carolyn Dickens.
She is the fastest softball pitch ever recorded at a 79-foot
These women were ready for permission.
Big ass allergy.
They set up anyway.
They built it.
Because the woman like it, the word for you,
This whole room looks different. Women didn't just fight for women. They fought for everything. Women didn't wait their turn. They wanted more. Just like Malala. Just like Malala. Just like Lorraine. Just like freedom.
Just like every girl sitting in the audience right now.
So this isn't just Women's History Month. Now it's ours.
Thank you for that wonderful performance by Miss Dorsey's group and Asha, Dania, and Morgan.
Beyonce is an important person in women's history because she has made a big difference in music and culture. She was born in Houston, Texas, and she started singing when she was little. She first became famous in a group called Destiny's Child. After that, she became a solo singer and got even more popular.
Some of her famous songs are Single Ladies and Halo. She is known for her powerful voice and cool dance moves. Beyonce has won a lot of awards, including Grammy Awards, because she works really hard. Beyonce is the first American artist to have 2 separate tours gross over 400 million, according to Rolling Stone. She also talks about being proud of who you are and standing up for what is right. I think Beyonce is inspiring because she shows people, especially young black girls, that they can follow their dreams and be successful if they believe in themselves.
Thank you, Reagan. And now we'll hear from Morgan Hayes and Dania Wilson.
They tell us the fight is over, that women have already earned our place in society. But if that were true, our power wouldn't still make people uncomfortable. A man who speaks his mind is confident, yet a woman who does the same is confrontational. From the beginning, the world has taught women that our voices are acceptable only when they are controlled, softened, and approved by others, approved by men.
And when we refuse to shrink ourselves to fit that expectation, we're labeled difficult or dramatic. We're told progress takes time, as if time hasn't already been taken enough from women. Generations before us were patient, and patience didn't protect them. History only moved them forward because women refused to wait quietly for a world that was never ready to give them equality.
We see this inequality in everyday spaces, not just in history books and classrooms. Women's ideas are overlooked or repeated by someone else and finally taken serious. In workplaces, leadership still has a gender, and in laws, women's bodies are debated as if they aren't our own. Women are expected to be strong enough to endure inequality, but calm enough not to challenge it.
The world praises resilience in women without ever questioning what forces us to be resilient in the first place. We are told to be bold but not threatening, ambitious but not demanding, powerful but still manageable. Strength should not be the cost of simply existing as a woman in public spaces, yet for many women it still is.
And even when women succeed, our success is treated like an exception instead of the expectation. We're asked how we balance everything, who helped us, and what we gave up to get there. Questions men are rarely forced to answer. Our achievements are never allowed to stand alone. They must always be explained, justified, or softened so that they don't make others uncomfortable, so that the world isn't forced to acknowledge our success in itself.
This is what it means to grow up female in a man's world. Learning how to take up space while being told not to take up too much, learning how to lead without being labeled, to speak without being punished, and to dream without being underestimated. These rules were never written for us, yet we are expected to follow them and blamed for breaking them.
Women's history isn't something we finished, it's something that we are still continuing. Every right women have today exists because someone was brave enough to disrupt comfort and challenge power. Equality still doesn't feel real, not because women are asking for too much, but because the world was never designed with women in the center. The world isn't ready for women to stand above men. So we are not waiting for the world to be ready for women. We are the reason it will have to be. We aren't forcing
for the world to be ready for us.
We are forcing the world to catch up. We are women's history in the making.
Miss Dorsey is women's history.
Miss Drown is women's history.
Miss Derrica is women's history.
Miss Isom is women's history.
Dr. Cavallon is women's history.
Mothers, daughters, cousins, nieces, friends, all the women in your life are women's history. Everyone is women's history.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for your participation and helping us celebrate Women's History Month. Women's History is not just for today, nor just the month of March, but every day. Thank you. We're going to start dismissing, so lower school classes can be dismissed first.